next week for the Knights to take on the Seagulls. So, yeah, no, it should be all good.
Rabbitohs, Dragons, and what? One of the funniest things I have ever seen was that.
What was he thinking?
I don't know. That was just hilarious. He got the ball behind. He needed a dropout from behind his goal line. And it goes and that's the player coming towards him. Was it Ben Hunt? Ben Hunt did that, didn't he?
Yeah, Ben Hunt, yeah. He drop kicked into his own play, coming towards him and went back across the
what?
The coaching, the management, everyone, the camera went up, then they looked in and everyone else looking, what the hell? It's not even a brain explosion.
I'm thinking to myself, I mean, that was just hilarious, wasn't it, Reno? Just hilarious. How do you do something like that? Boy, did he lose something or what, man? Oh, that was just hilarious, quite frankly. What do you reckon, Reno?
Oh, mate, I don't even know if he'd be playing next week.
Probably not.
Well, I don't even know why he was thinking or why he did it. It didn't even take a knock to the head to make him do something stupid like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. They'll go down in one of those minty moments.
Oh, I mean, because I don't know whether he wasn't even looking up. He just saw the ball, decided to kick it, and kicked it straight into his teammate. Just was one of the funniest things I've seen in a rugby game or a rugby league game ever. But
they're called entertainment value, Keith.
I suppose so.
Those leagueies, they're capable of anything, those leagueies.
I guess you're right.
Yeah, but his player was running back to get over the line where he's going to drop it, and he dropped it straight into him.
It was.
What the hell?
Oh man, that's all over Facebook. Hey, that's all over Facebook.
I'll tell you what was all over Facebook was Matt Moylan being interviewed by Brady Fittler, and the old F-bomb come out in the interview.
Oh, true.
Live on TV, yeah. Funny
Nice.
So they're talking to Josh Dugan, and they're talking about Gordon Tellis said he should retire. He's done his dash, you know. He was yapping away about it, and then he popped over to Matt Moylan, who makes like nearly $80,000 a go, something. It was a big price anyway. And Moylan told Brady Fittler where to go.
Yeah.
And he forgot he was on live TV, yeah. The old F-bomb.
Yeah.
So it's been a fun week. It's been a fun week.
So far, and it's not even over yet this weekend.
Well, we've still got to get through the Warriors this afternoon.
Yes.
What the hell are they going to do?
Well, honestly, on this one, I don't mind if we lose. I mean, I know the Eels are well away, are well up there at the moment. I don't mind if we lose this one because we're expected to. Well, I don't know if we're expected to win, but I don't mind if we lose this one. But we definitely, this is my opinion anyway, we're definitely going to win the next one. But we might even win this one. So, yeah, it's going to be a tough one for the Warriors, eh? In fact, it's a tough run.
It will be against the Eels. And hey, next week, mate, it's against the Raiders on a Friday night too. So it doesn't get any easier the rest of the trip through. But, it's what it is. We'll see what happens. But I know JT's hanging out. He's much dropping back a few ales. The Storm and Sea Eagles, JT?
What do you reckon, JT?
Yeah, look, we're pretty comfortable with the minor premiership, boys, but the minor premiership means nothing. I mean, you can ask me who won the last 20 grand finals, and I'll answer. If you ask me who won the last 20 minor premierships, I'll struggle.
Yes, same.
Look, we're in a good position, no doubt about that, and I think the Warriors probably won't make the 8, to be fair. And look, mate, it's just we're counting down towards the end of the season, and we're here in Rome. We had a few beers on board, and we're celebrating the Silver Fern.
Go from rugby league back to netball.
Sorry, boys. Like I said, I've had a couple of beers. I've had how many beers? I've had about maybe 4 or 5 of these big fellas, and so look.
You're holding up well.
We're cutting about holiday. Lois and I off to Venice tomorrow on a train. She'll probably push me in the water in Venice off a gondola. I'll try and do a manu or a staple or a bomb. But look. So, like I said, we've had a great time, and it's also awesome to be part of the show and share it with both of our listeners.
Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to getting back on board next week with some serious rugby league corridor because rugby league is the people's game.
Indeed. Now, what's interesting though, Reno, is that the Broncos themselves, they're pretty much in the same boat at the moment that the Warriors are. You know, they need some major wins coming up to be able to get into the 8, don't they?
Oh, yeah, there's a whole lot of teams. I'm guessing you could put a circle around 4 or 5 teams, Keithy, at the moment, who could just be on the fringe of their top 8. You take a look at, I think it's the Tigers. I think they're just 1 point ahead of the Warriors at the moment. So that draw, that 1 point might be the difference overall. But yeah, it's counting down like JT said, week 19, goes to week 25. Then we look at the final scenario, which will be early October is the big grand final, so the GF. But yeah, you could circle a whole bunch of teams. These vital 2 points, like you say, if the Warriors want to make it, they've got to win, not lose.
Yes.
It's the only way you can do it, and that's the same focus on all those.
The Broncos, true that.
At the moment. Yeah,
true that. The Storm. Now, your Storm, they're going to be playing the Sea Eagles later on tonight. There, JT. What do you reckon, bro?
Yeah, always a tough game for the Storm against Manly, mate, because Manly, for some reason, seem to aim up against us. But look, it's down in Melbourne, and I think Melbourne on a bit of a roll. But look, it wouldn't matter too much if the Storm lost. We've won like 25,000 in a row, unlike the Warriors. So look, Melbourne by probably half a dozen.
Okay, fair enough. The Bulldogs Roosters there, Reno.
Mate. Yeah, that's going to be a hard one. I'll tell you what, I'll go for the upsets, eh? I'll go for the Doggies over the Roosters.
Okay, so that means, are you going to go for the Panthers in the next game too? Yeah,
why not? Something's got to blooming happen in one of these rounds, eh?
Okay.
You look at the Newcastle Knights, all of a sudden the wheels have been falling off over the last few weeks. They look pretty good one part there.
True. Yes. Boy, did they what? And they needed that win too. Last night, didn't they? Boy, they really needed that win. I forgot to ask you. Not that I'm going for the Warriors. What about you there, Raa?
Oh, you got to bet the boys, Keithy. I think they're in ninth position on the table. So, just one out of the top 8. But anything can happen. As we know, the Warriors, they're capable of creating, hysteria amongst their fans if they can secure a couple of wins within the next 2 weeks.
Well, they need more
than that. They can have the complete opposite effect by, having their faithful scorning them if they don't have a successful couple of weeks. So it's either either, Keithy. But I'm going to put my money on the boys, hopefully coming through with a win. They have to. They can't keep going through year in, year out, especially now. They're showing that fantastic doco series on TV, which I've been watching.
Keeping the faith,
intrigued with it, yeah.
Keeping the faith. Have you been? Are you still keeping the faith, Raa Walker?
Not as much as JT is over there in the land of spaghetti. I mean, that's the place to really be keeping the faith. With the Vatican in the background there. But look, I'll tell you, if our boys can kind of, go against all pundits and hopefully get a few more wins, I think we'll all be sort of toasting their merriment like how we have been with our netball girls. But this is the Warriors we're talking about, Keithy, and it's a watch the space and a neck minute.
That documentary really has been great, I think. Anyway, it gives you a really good insight as to how I suppose a professional franchise operates. Raa.
Oh, it is, Keithy, and it's like anything. It seemed like it started off, higgledy-piggledy, and sort of one of those touch-and-go things. They were keen to sort of push forward with it, especially in a country as ours, which is mad in union. It's no easy task, but they have, and they are where they are now. So, you need that just to bring you back down to earth. I'm still going to beg them at the end of the day because results speak louder than any historical feature program, because we all want them to do well, not just as a nation and supporters, but for the team. They apply the hard yards every weekend So it would be good if they can benefit from it, and it all comes down to them at the end of the day.
They did start off kind of higgledy-piggledy, didn't they, Reno? And then they kind of kept on going higgledy-piggledy. It's still kind of higgledy-piggledy even now, isn't it?
Still the same, mate. 25 years later, promised so much. Got to 2 grand finals, come up short. Won a premiership in their heyday when they were really good throwing the ball around, something that we'd never seen in the game of the league for a little while, especially from the Warriors franchise. But yeah, started off rough on the edges, just about financially got themselves in the brown stuff and got through and kept going. Look, they're still 25.
Kind of cutting out there, Reno. Anyway, that whole documentary, though, Raa, it's just been, very insightful. Shows you kind of like where they've come from. When Daniel Anderson came in and when he coached them to the grand final, just how well they did,
Oh, it has to be, and even to see some of those rugby converts that sort of went over to the game of the league, which JT would sort of attest to. It's no easy feat, and as I made mention, a rugby-mad country to sort of start the league and to try and sort of further it. And the less they do in terms of performance, the Warriors, the harder they make the challenge for them. So, it is still an ongoing mission to try and take out a title. But hopefully one day that will happen. And, if anything they take away from our netball girls is to never give up and to keep putting the foot down on the pedal because, your fortunes may change.
Well, I think in last night's episode it just showed, they went all the way to the grand final, and not to win that grand final, though. Then the next year they came out and they needed to bulk up and everything, and things kind of went wrong from there, didn't it? I mean, it seemed like they had completely done the opposite. That's what I read into it anyway in last night's episode. What about you, Reno? What did you reckon about that? If you're still with us.
Yeah, no, things didn't go well after that year. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
Keithy?
Yes, nice and clear now.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah, okay, no, things just went backwards big time, mate. The expectations very similar to what we've seen in the pattern over the last 24 months. Look at last year's 5 games on the trot, never heard of before by the Warriors at the start of the season, and look at this year, wasn't there flash and still isn't at the moment. So, yeah, like the word, Raa sums it up with one word, consistency is the word that kind of comes to mind when you think of the 25 years. And, yeah, well, it's the Warriors, mate. You love them or hate them, but we'll see what happens.
I think
might be 2019 still, Keithy.
2019, it's still on the cards there, bro. It's still on the cards. We can't think them out. They need to win. We can't have just a couple of wins, though. No. We need
like
more than a couple.
Earlier on, before I dropped out, I think about the episode series. To have an episode series in the last 25 years in a country that's predominantly rugby union mad. For an NRL club like the Warriors, and they haven't been performing that well over 25 years, ups and downs, a couple of grand finals, one premiership. That's a huge effort by a little franchise in New Zealand, and the game is struggling. I was watching the Kiwi League show the other night, and the little Kids Tigers club down there in Upper Hutt.
Yeah.
There was a good story. It had Sir Peter Leach on there, Richie Barnett, and Wairangi Kopu, and Monty, and some of those stories and self-belief by some of the people who love the game of league, they get out there and do the hard yards, fundraise, just about bust their backsides just to keep the game going in the youth, let alone their premiership teams. So there is a bit of passion out there, obviously, for the game, and it's in a bit of dire straits, unfortunately.
Yeah, indeed. Now, I'll tell you what would be a great documentary, I think, to watch, and I think JT would agree with me here, JT, would be a documentary on the Melbourne Storm. What do you reckon, bro?
Well, it will be a documentary based on a lot of success, a lot of innuendo, particularly regarding the salary cap stuff. But look, Melbourne has traditionally, as we all know, brought players in from different phases of their career and made a success out of them. So look, Melbourne Storm, that's always going to be my team. So you're not going to find a bad comment from me, boys, if that's what you're digging for.
No, I'm just I'm just saying, I think that would be a great documentary because hopefully it would give an insight as to how their success came about and possibly even why.
Oh, look, from